Hey, gentlemen, how you all doing this evening?
All right, Mr. Ross.
I know you guys have been here for a little bit of time. Some of you probably tired. I hear you guys talking about your work together, so I'm trying to be as brief as possible. But as CJ said, I've had a goal for a whole lot of years where I want to be a motivational speaker. I had this dream put in my heart about 14, 15 years ago. Set out my first goal. First goal was to go back to my high school, speak in my high school. Did that. Came back, talked to some people who I really respected, people who were a big influence in my life, and basically told me, I don't think you should do that. I think you should use your talents and go in another direction. And I let that individual steal my dream. My hope is today that whatever dreams you have, I can help rekindle those dreams that you have and help you start to see something a little bit different. See something bigger than what you're imagining right now today while you're sitting in this room. The title of my talk is called Be a Transformer, Not H2O. Everybody looking at me like, what does that mean? Basically, you look at transformer and you look at water, they both have something in common. And what is that? They transform. They transform into something different. The difference with them is that a transformer can decide what it is that they want to become. Everybody in here knows what transformers are, right?
Yeah.
They can become motorcycle, helicopter, airplane, you name it, they can do it. But again, what the difference is between them and water is they can decide what they want to do. They're in a situation can be whatever it is. Circumstances can be as crazy as they can be. And they can decide, you know what, this is what I need to be, this is what I want to become. They transform into that. Whereas water has no option on what's going to happen to it. If you put water in certain vessels, it's going to take on the shape of that vessel, correct?
Yeah.
Or if you look at water in terms of its consistency, you have liquid, you have solid, and you have a gas, correct? But it has no choice on what happens to it. Once the temperature drops to 32 degrees, what happens to that water? It freezes. Does it have a choice?
No.
So basically, its circumstance dictates what happens to it, right? And when that temperature reaches 33, it starts to liquefy, turns into water. And when the temperature hits 100 degrees, it turns into a gas, vapor, floats away, right? Has no control. What I'm here to talk to you about is not letting your circumstances dictate your future. Every last one of you in here can make a choice to change your life just like that. But the problem that a lot of people have when they want to make changes is change itself. People fear change. How many of you have been in a position where you knew something was wrong and you wanted something different, but you were afraid to do what you knew was right, or you were afraid to do what you should do because you were afraid of the change that would come with it? I think everybody in here should probably have their hands up. But that's the thing we have to understand, is that change is the only constant that we have in our lives. The only thing that is going to be consistent in our lives is change. We all want to sit and just let things stay the way they are, keep the status quo, and everything just be copacetic and cool, as they say. But that's not reality. The reality is everything changes. From the moment you were conceived in your mother's womb, change. Every single moment, every single day, change. Everything within your body every day is different. The cells, the molecules, everything within you is changing on a daily basis. So my point is, we have to learn to embrace change. We have to learn to embrace the thing that may come next. And everything is based on moments. Everything is based on moments. And why are we all here today? Every last one of us are in this room today because of a decision we made in a moment. Some of the decisions we made in specific moments landed us in places we didn't want to be. Some of us made decisions in certain moments that put us where we wanted to be. But in either circumstance, whether it's where you want to be or where you don't want to be, there was a certain moment that we had that we made a decision to do something. And we have to learn to recognize when we're in those moments that we can make different decisions. Because at that moment, the decision we make could impact our future. We have to be cognizant and aware of that. And a lot of times when we go through certain moments in life, it hits us in a certain way. And we have a certain emotion that we attach to it. And that's how people get stuck in their circumstances. That's how people get stuck in the past, in past thinking. It's because we attach so much emotion to things that happen. Now, I'm not saying emotion is not important. Emotion is very important. Because if you're going to make a change in your life, you have to make an emotional decision and really push forward. But those instances, those moments in our past, don't hold on to those emotions. Can we learn from the past? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean we have to be stuck in a moment or in a certain circumstance. Take the lesson that you learned from certain mistakes or certain situations you found yourself in. But don't let yourself get stuck there. Don't let the emotion rule. Take the lesson from it, but keep on moving forward. And let every moment, as I said, be a stepping stone to the next moment in your life, to the future that you're looking for. How many of you have strong dream that you have of something you want to do or a big goal that you have? Fantastic, that's great. Everybody needs to have a goal or something that they're chasing for. Otherwise, we don't feel alive. That's why sometimes you find people in situations that they never dreamed that they would be in, because somewhere along the way, we lose sight of our dreams. And when we lose sight of our dreams, we lose a bit of confidence. And when we lose our confidence, we start doing things that we never imagined ourselves doing. Find ourselves in positions we never dreamed or imagined that we would ever be in. So how do we change our confidence? How do we develop confidence? Well, first, every one of you has already answered the first step of that, is having a dream, having something that's going to drive you to move towards something better than what you have right now. And I hope whatever that dream is something that you're good at. Because what I've learned is people that are doing things that they're good at, when you find something you're good at, it really boosts your self-esteem. It really helps your confidence. It really makes you start to see things as being possible. And that's all we can ask for in this world, is that we feel like something is possible, that we have some bit of hope. But we can gain confidence from that, from knowing that it's something that we're good at. And I don't know what that thing is for you. Some of you may be great cooks. Some of you may be great with computers. Some of you may be great singers. Maybe you can teach. Maybe you're a good musician. There's all types of things out there that people are good at. And hopefully whatever it is that you've decided to do, you love it, you're good at it, and you believe that you can do that. You believe that you can get up from where you are now and be on your way to independence and freedom that you never dreamed possible. And I'm here to tell you, it's possible. Whatever it is you're thinking about, it's possible. Now, I can sit here and be honest with you. I've not been in a position that a lot of you are in. I didn't come from that. But I still have to battle those same insecurities that every one of you has to dream about. Because I had somebody who I respected greatly that told me, I don't think you should pursue that. What do you think that did to my confidence?
Yeah, right.
It wasn't somebody who was just, he's just a hater. This is somebody who I really looked up to and respected and was expecting to have my back. And instead he told me, I don't think you should do that. I think you should use your talent elsewhere. Dream killer. Got to avoid those people. Got to avoid the dream killers. The first thing you do after you decide and figure out what it is you're good at and what you want to do is see yourself there. How many of you see yourself where you want to be? How many of you see yourself accomplishing your goals? That is the exact response that I was hoping to see. Because that's the step that it's going to take for you to get where you want to go. If you don't believe it first, and I mean really believe it. I don't mean, and I appreciate everybody raising their hand. But I hope every last one of you meant that you truly believe. that you're going to make it to whatever it is that you have set out to do. Because a lot of people say things because it's the cool thing to do, and everybody else raised their hand, and so I'm hoping that you all meant that. And that's why you got Brother CJ here working with you and Mr. Bell here working with you, because they see that too. They wouldn't be here doing this type of work if they didn't believe in the people that they would be coming in contact with every day. Amen. They wouldn't put forth the effort. I was sitting here and I saw the portions of the meeting that I did, and it's obvious that these guys care and that they believe. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of different service type activities, and you can tell when people believe or not. These guys believe in what they're doing because they do it with excellence. I can look around this place. When I met CJ the first day I walked in here, I can tell he was about excellence, and I can tell he was about helping to make sure that each and every one of you had what you needed to get where you want to go. And that's a very important thing. You want to be successful at something, next thing you should do, find somebody that's successful at whatever it is that you're doing. Copy the next man. Now you hear all this stuff all the time. People talk about being trailblazers and going off and set your own path and all that. That's good to a point, and that's good for certain circumstances. But when you're in a position like me, just getting started off, I have to look to somebody else that's already succeeding at what I'm trying to do here, what I'm trying to accomplish. You got to do the same thing. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. I know we think of mentors, we think of a grown man with a young boy or a grown woman with a young girl. But as adults, we need mentors too. I have a mentor. I have a coach that's helping me along this journey. Find somebody that's successful at whatever it is you're doing and follow in their footsteps. I was reading an article in the magazine about this guy. His name is Chef Jeff. He's out in Las Vegas at the Bellagio. He's been working there as a chef for many years. He's writing books now. He came up out of the prison system. He got busted some years ago, dealing drugs, spent 10 years in jail. While he was in jail, he figured out that, hey, I'm pretty good at this cooking thing. So when he got out, he had a dream, just like everyone in here says they have a dream. He had a dream that said, I want to be a cook in Vegas. So he went to Vegas. He got himself a job working at the Bellagio, and he sat back and he watched the people that were successful as the chef, the top chef, the sous chefs, and all of those people. And he started to emulate them. Cut off his facial hair, and I'm not telling anybody what facial hair is what you got to do. I'm just telling you this is what he made the decision to do. And he watched how these guys dressed, so he started dressing like them. He watched what they did on a daily basis, how they prepared each and every day for the job. And as a result of that, now, as I said, he's a famous chef who's working at the Bellagio. He's got 2 books out that he's written, and it all started, he said, because he followed in somebody else's footsteps. So you want to build some confidence? Follow a path that's already there. Because how many of you want to try to do something that nobody's ever done before? Not too many people. No. Most of us want to do something, and why is that? Because we know it's possible. You know it's been done before. And it's been done by people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds, all different races, creeds, colors, religions, all that stuff. So find somebody, emulate somebody that's going to lead you on that path. At the jobs that you guys are working at now, find those people who are upper management, who are really getting the job done. I'm not talking about that jerk boss that doesn't do anything and bosses you around. And find the one that's really working, that's really invested in people. Get with them and find out what it is that you can do better to progress at whatever the job is that you're doing. And if what you're doing is not your dream job, it's part of the deal. It's part of the process. We're all working towards something bigger and better. Change the source from which you're getting your influence from. And what I mean by that, start talking to yourself better. Start talking to yourself better. A lot of times the most damaging talk that we have is stuff we say to ourselves. I guarantee you everybody in here at some point has done something and you said, dang, I'm so stupid. Man, I'm an idiot. What was I thinking? All that's negative self-talk. So start to turn that around. And I know it's going to sound hokey, and I know it's going to sound stupid, but every day, seriously, every day, when you're on your way to work, start telling yourself, I am deserving of my dream. I can make it in whatever it is that you decided that you want to do. Start talking to yourself that way. When you look in the mirror in the morning, say, I am a winner. I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds corny, and I'm fine with being corny.
There you go.
Because the most successful people in the world, this is what they did. And if that's where you're trying to go, be corny too. I know it's not the cool thing to say, because that ain't what, I mean, you know, most people are just too cool for that. But that's what it takes. The most successful people, and you can read book after book, you can listen to speech after speech, and every last one of those people will tell you that when they started to talk better to themselves, when their self-talk improved, that's when things started happening. That's when the belief started to form. Read books. Read books. Read books. And I'm not talking about novels. I'm not talking about gangster tales. I'm not talking about those kind of books. Read books about whatever it is you're trying to do. Learn more about whatever it is that you're trying to achieve in your life. Read books that's going to help you with the self-talk. Some of you be like, I don't know what to say to myself. Read the books. Read some books that are going to empower you. Read books. He talked about Les Brown, who is my hero in this business. Read books by Les Brown. There's all kind of books out there. The Magic of Thinking Big. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Sometimes what you're trying to do is going to help if you can start speaking and communicating with other people better. Think big. There's tons of books out there. Think and Grow Rich. Start reading books that's going to change how you think. Because if you don't change how you think, you're going to continue to get the same results that you're getting now.
That's right.
So change the books that you're reading. Change what you listen to and watch. I know it sounds crazy. Had a period of my time where I had to do that because I'm a hip-hop head. I love hip-hop.
Yes, yes.
Love it. Not rap. I don't like rap. I like hip-hop. I like hip-hop. There's a distinction. We can talk about that later. But there was a period of my life where I had to make a decision that the music I was listening to was not propelling me, wasn't pushing me where I wanted to go. So I had to start listening to more audio, YouTube, and I started listening to these motivational speakers. Started listening to Les Brown more. Started listening to Eric Thomas. Who's in here has heard of Eric Thomas? E.T. the hip hop preacher? Oh man, right there. All right. Started listening. Look for these guys. Seriously, Les Brown, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins. I'm sure some of you, most of you probably heard of Tony Robbins. Start listening to these guys because they're going to help not only change your mindset, but also it's just inspiring and it makes you feel good. And if you do this on a regular basis, not an every once in a while type of thing, but do this on a daily basis, because making the type of change that we're talking about making is going to take a daily effort. It's not something you do once a week. How many of you take a shower just one time a week?
Be honest.
I ain't been caught yet, so I'm confused.
Right, you all do what? You shower daily, right? And that's the same way motivation and inspiration is. Motivation wears off. Inspiration wears off. So treat these books, treat your self-talk, treat watching these videos, treat it like a shower. The motivation is your freshness. And it wears off and now you stink and you need that shower. And change who you associate with. Sometimes that's the biggest distraction that most of us have is the people that we associate with. You want to start being more successful? You want to live a happier life? Get around happy, successful people. And that goes back to the thing I was talking about, the people at work. Find those people that are enjoying the job, even if it's a crap job. Find the people that are enjoying the job. Get around those people. Get around the people that are pushing for something greater than where they are. I'm fortunate I got friends who are people that are trying to do something, and I realized that having those friends are the ones that are going to help me get to where I want to go. So there's some people that I used to hang out with and associate with, don't hang out with them as more. Two guys back there, those are my buddies. We've been talking about doing different business ideas. My man back here, who he's gonna come talk to you for just a brief moment when I'm finished. He's in business for himself. He's looking at business opportunities. I got my best friend who's down in Houston. He called me up the other day. It's like, hey man, I got this business idea I'm gonna do. I'm working on my business plan. But these are the people I'm associating with because they're like-minded people. You don't want people that are comfortable with not moving forward. You don't want people around you that don't want to change and live better, because all they do is hold you back. See, a lot of heads nodding. We all got people in our lives that are like that, and we have to learn to minimize. And it's not a thing of you trying to be better than anybody else. You're trying to be better than you are right now. Not better than them. You're trying to be better than what you are right now. And if that means leaving them behind, so be it. Because if you want to help them, and that's a problem that a lot of people have, and I've been in that situation too, where it's like I don't really want to jump out there too far because I don't want my friends to think I'm not cool anymore, or I want them to come with me. They don't want to. They're not there. So how do I help them by staying with them? I don't. I help them by lifting myself up from where I am and going to the next thing. And once I'm there, now you've given them a visual of, hey, we kind of was neck and neck and he made it. If he did it, it means it's possible for me. So you do more good for your friends by stepping out of the pack, by leaping forward, than you do by staying back and continuing to associate with those who want to stay small. Because you can't be small and live big. Can't be small and live big. So change the company that you keep. Now the next part that we'll talk about is the part that gets a lot of people stuck. It's they don't have patience. Man, you gotta have patience because it's a process. Everything, as I talked about before, moments. There are moments, different moments in your life. But everything is a process. So you have to have patience. Nothing happens overnight. How many of you came out of the womb walking? How many of you came out of the womb talking?
Screaming.
Came out screaming. I think we all can say we did that. But none of us, I mean seriously, none of us came out walking and talking. And when you first started talking, it was a word. And then a word here. And then you start putting two words together, maybe three. And then you developed into speaking sentences. It didn't happen overnight. And walking, we crawled first, then we walked, then we ran. When you did math, did you learn how to do math without knowing how to count, without knowing the numbers? Baby steps. Baby steps. Who in here can tell me how you eat an elephant?
How do you what?
How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. That's the same thing with making changes. One step at a time.
You should have said bacon. I ain't eating elephant.
No, I should say chicken.
Now, some people scarf chicken down, though, so that might not work either. But just one step at a time, though. Not getting ahead of ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean don't have urgency. You still want to be urgent about making your dreams come true. You still want to be urgent about reaching your goals. But when I talk about being urgent, I'm not talking about rushing or being in a hurry. What I mean by having urgency is making the right decisions or making decisions that you know you need to make right now. Doing what you know you need to do right now. Not procrastinating. Not putting things off.
Sorry, 1 second, Mr. Ross. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. Mr. Houston is here for the guys that were going to that meeting. We had some guys that was going to have to leave around 7-ish. Mr. Lopez? Okay. Is it okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Okay, he's waiting on you guys. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
You guys enjoy the meeting. I hope you guys absorb enough information.
That chair was getting to me, boy.
Take that me,
Man, thank God.
But again, like I was saying, is you want to move with urgency, but you don't want to be in a hurry. And like I was saying, when I talk about urgency, that just means you're making the decision that you need to make, and you're doing what you need to do right now. Not procrastinating, not putting things off. A high level of importance in your movement, in your motion, in your focus is what I'm talking about with urgency. Whereas when you're in a hurry, you're unfocused, and you're just moving about with no direction. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, you want to get there quickly, and by being urgent, meaning making the decisions, doing what you need to do at the right times when you're supposed to do them, that will speed up the process a lot quicker than trying to take shortcuts and trying to skip steps. You always want to make sure you're going with the process day by day. It's a daily grind to be the best you can be. It's a daily grind to get over the negative things we have to deal with every day. Because life is a mess. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what kind of house you live in, what kind of car you drive. Everybody deals with life. I know sometimes us who are financially challenged, we look at people who may have a lot of money and think, you know, everything is just great for them. They have life issues too. We may have different issues than they do, but life happens to everybody. So let's not get in a hurry thinking that everything is going to go away and everything is going to be smooth sailing on the way. That's why you don't need to be in a hurry, but be urgent. Meaning keep a high priority on the things that you need to do to get you to where you want to be. Make sense?
Yeah.
You gotta have discipline. Gotta have discipline. Discipline is doing the things that need to be done whether you feel like it or not. Doing the things that need to be done whether you feel like it or not. The day I came up here and I stumbled upon this place, didn't feel like cold calling, I didn't feel like contacting people, but I had to do it. The only way for me to progress is to get out and do it. So I got in my car, drove up here to Waukegan, and just start going to different businesses, organizations, anywhere I can go. Didn't feel like doing it that day. I really wanted to sit home, watch ESPN, and be truthful. But I had to be disciplined. And that's what it's going to take, is doing the things that need to be done when they need to be done. Whether you feel like it or not. Gotta have discipline. And that discipline also goes in line with our finances. Gotta be disciplined with your money. Gotta be disciplined with your money. There's always gonna be things that we want to have, things that we wish we can get, or things that we like, man, I got it, I can get it. But think about making certain purchases. Is that going to help you in what it is you're trying to do? We're all trying to get somewhere, live on your own independently, correct?
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful of that with the money. You got to be mindful of that with the money. Make sure you're spending money on things that are going to help you get to where you want to go and help you maintain what you have. And I know we all want to look fly. You know, some of you younger guys, older guys, you cool. You gonna do you.
I'm cool too. I'm simple. I like it simple.
But some of the younger, you know, that stuff goes through your mind. And it takes me back, going back to my hip hop, this guy by the name of Fonte from a group called Little Brother. He says, do you want to win or do you want to look good losing?
Wow.
That's a choice you have to make. That's a choice you have to make. Being financially responsible and disciplined. The time will come. Listen, if you really believe that you're going to get to where you want to go, some of these purchases can wait. Some of the things you want to spend your money on can wait.
Amen. Amen.
And I know it's tough. I know it's tough. I struggle with it too. You got to have discipline when it comes to that. The other thing is, don't compare yourself to anybody else. That's what our society has gotten to, especially in the sports world. I mean, you guys sports fans. And what's the biggest sports comparison we hear all the time? Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
And Kobe Bryant.
There's too much of that. Be you. Be you. Don't worry about what your next door neighbor's doing or your homeboy. Don't worry about it when it comes to going after what it is you want. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Because nobody's in your shoes. You're in your shoes. Your dream is your dream. And your dream might be different than his dream. His dream might be different than his. That's why you shouldn't get caught up in comparisons. We talk about dreams, and most of the time when people come talk about dreams, we talk about these big grand dreams, and man, I want to have a mansion, and they don't have to be your dream. That's not everybody's dream, and it doesn't have to be yours. And that's why I say don't compare, because your dream might be, I just want to have a simple house, I want to have a job and pay my bills. Nothing wrong with that. If that's your dream, that's your dream. It's yours. And don't worry about what somebody else has to say about it. You know, people, they get stuff and yeah, look at what I got, and so what? That's what you want, that's what you want. And that's how you politely deal with people like that. But your dream is yours. What you do with your life is up to you. And the only thing you got to worry about doing is being the best you can be. Can't be anybody else but yourself. Be the best you can be, and that will get you on, and that will help you get out of whatever circumstance you ever find yourself in. Lastly, don't ever, 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 ever give up on your dreams. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you've been through. I don't care what your circumstances are now. I guarantee you there are people that have been in situations just like yours or worse that were able to rise up. And all they did was believe, fight, and never give up. Never quit, never stop. I mean, everybody here, Kentucky Fried Chicken, right?
Oh, Kentucky? Oh,
Kentucky Fried Chicken. I know you know about this. I read somewhere that Colonel Sanders got rejected for his recipe over 1,000 times. Was it embellished? Probably. But yet and still, he got rejected after rejection, after rejection, after rejection, but he kept going. Everybody know about Spider-Man and what's the guy that does the Marvel? Stan Lee. Stan Lee? Mm-hmm. He was 40 years old before he started the Spider-Man series and went on to become successful with that. Because he never stopped. He never gave up. Never quit. The most successful people in the world will tell you that they have failed more than they have succeeded. How many of y'all remember that Jordan, speaking of sports again, how many of y'all remember that Michael Jordan commercial where he talked about taking the last shot and how he's not afraid to take the last shot? And what did he say in that commercial? I'm not afraid to take the last shot. He said, I've missed more than I've made. I'm not fearful. I've failed far more than I've succeeded. So I don't have to be afraid of failing. And remember, failing is not final unless you quit. If you don't quit, you're not a failure. As long as you keep fighting every day, you're not a failure. The only failures in the world are people who just give up and quit and don't keep fighting day after day after day after day. So that's kind of what I leave you guys with is don't ever give up.